Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Over the Bar podcast. We got Sal back this time from his hiatus. He is officially back with us for this episode, which we got a lot to talk about. We'll obviously start with recapping the Liverpool-Chelsea match from this past week, go over a little bit of the transfer market as well, and hit on some big topics throughout the Premier League. But first things first, we will start with that Liverpool-Chelsea match. It resulted in 1-1. Liverpool not quite at their best. Chelsea down to 10 men, played very well. Edouard Mendy was amazing. I'll let you guys take it from here. Your thoughts on the match?
Bummer of a second half. First half was great. It was electric. It was wide open. And then big change in the flow of the game for the second half.
Yeah, it could have been I had a feeling like it could have been like a classic. And then, the penalty, I think it was definitely a penalty, but I don't know how I feel about the red card.
Dumb rule.
It's the right call.
It wasn't intentional. He didn't.
It's the right. His arm did move forward.
He didn't look at it. He looked at it for a half second and then walked away.
He didn't even have to look at it for his arm to move forward, though. It's the call is correct in the rule of the game. The call is correct, and I'm not trying to be a homer, but the call is correct.
You guys needed it. You needed that bad. You needed it. That's the only way you're going to score. Or
how many open we had 3 1-on-1 opportunities in goal. Henderson, the first was it the 4th minute of the game, 1-on-1 with a volley.
Yeah,
can't make it. I think Harvey Elliott had a chance. Can't make it. Sadio Mane, I believe, had one. Can't make it. I didn't know how else we were going to score, to be honest with you.
You weren't.
And it wasn't necessarily the defense on you guys playing very well because we were getting open.
Yeah.
Just can't finish. And that's going to be the story of the year for Liverpool. But let's talk about that red card. That was basically the changing point of the game. It basically made Thomas Tuchel go back to a more defensive style for that second half to try to maintain that 1-1 game and get away with a point. Your take on the penalty call. Obviously, you mentioned it was the right decision under the rule. Where do we go from here, though?
I wouldn't be surprised if they reword that rule before the start of next season because they're constantly looking at handball rules and how VAR is applied. And that situation in a match really of that scale, this could come down to top 4 positioning at the end. Those 2 points that could have gone either way.
Could even be the title.
Definitely. It's the perfect moment for people to really just focus in on when it comes to those rule changes or the amendments.
Yeah.
And you can even take it one step further and look at what the rule changes were for this upcoming season is the deflection, the offensive deflection rule. If an attacking player deflects the ball off his own arm, if the ball is continued in play, a goal can be scored after that now. So when it comes to defensively, do we relook at that rule or what do they? I don't know where they go from here. To be honest, I think there's a lot that you can fix with that rule, but how you go about fixing it, I think, is the way that we need to really have the discussion on. Because I don't know if there's one correct way to do it, but there's a billion ways to screw it up, especially with English referees. They do everything to screw it up.
And I understand why they want to treat everything the way they treated Luis Suarez against Ghana back in 2010, because he fully intentionally just lays out, makes the save with his hand when he's a striker. He's not the goalkeeper. So clear denial of a goal scoring opportunity has to be a red card, and then the penalty kick was not converted. Yeah. So simply giving the penalty kick and a yellow card for the Reece James foul or handball, you're not necessarily going to actually punish them if that penalty is not converted. They still don't get the goal, and they still have full strength.
So maybe the rule is, and this is where there's a gray area that needs to come about, is intention. Obviously, with the Luis Suarez one you mentioned, that one, obviously, he intended to block that ball from going in. Intention, I think, as much as we know that it can't be influenced in a lot of these decisions, especially when it comes to handball and in a case like this, intention is really it's on the back. It's nothing that really goes into making the decision. But do we look at maybe that's the area we look at in the future as far as handball decisions in the box?
I thought that was the key to it because I don't know. Maybe I have to watch it back, but I'm pretty sure the ball bounces off his leg onto his arm.
It did.
And like that's just
the one thing.
Just go around kicking the ball.
But
if
his arm is not extended, does that not go in?
His arm was extended in a natural body movement, and once the ball hit his arm, his arm didn't start going forward until it had already come off.
Yeah.
And again,
so it's a penalty.
It could be argued that it was more of a regular body movement, that your arm is not just going to stay in one place.
In which case I would be okay with a yellow. I would be okay with a yellow. And I think that's something that needs to be looked at because, I mean, that game was you're right. Sal hit the nail on the head. It was going to be a game of epic proportions. It was still, I mean, it was a lackluster second half. It was exciting, but it was a lackluster second half.
I can see where it would be exciting from your perspective.
I mean, you guys made me nervous a couple times. You did have a couple counters with Alonso coming up the wing and Lukaku just kind of filling in the middle. And I was surprised. Let me ask you that because I don't remember. Was Ziyech on the bench?
He was available.
He was available. I was surprised he was not in.
If it wasn't for the red card and the N'Golo Kante little ankle injury at half.
Yeah.
Or if it was even, what was it, last were they doing it last year with the 5 subs? Or was that just Champions League? European play. They
it was just
every other league
Champions
but the Premier League.
Yeah.
Allowing 5 subs instead of 3. Tuchel even mentioned after the match. He would have loved to have been able to throw Timo Werner and Hakeem Ziyech out there.
I think that would have been that if I was
so.
managing that spot. That's where I would have went because I think you were basically one pass away from a break almost every time. Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip I thought were excellent back there.
They really marshaled Lukaku.
They did, and that's not the easiest fucking thing to do. I mean, he's one of the best, if not the best, center forward in the world. So I couldn't believe how good they did.
Second half, he was just anonymous. Yeah, but I don't blame him for
and that's
that.
part of the red card.
Yeah,
that's part of what happened.
The red card, and it's also a part of Van Dijk in particular. Even Matip did well, but was it Matip?
Yeah,
he did well. Lukaku did turn him really sick one time.
Is Van Dijk back? That's a question I've been asked a couple of times this week.
I mean, he was great before the injury, so it's tough to say that he's back. He's really good. Is he still the best defender in the world? I don't think so. I don't know that he's back to his form that he had before the injury.
I will tell you that he was even better. You know why?
He's at least one of the top 3.
100% win rate in aerial duels. 100% win rate in tackles as well. He was flawless. That was the best match he's had, not only since the injury, but possibly even before the injury. Since the season where they won the Premier League, I thought he was fantastic.
There's a lot more aerial balls that he had. That's the only thing he could play at that time.
And that's what, especially with the size of Lukaku. I mean, you got to throw balls in the box. I mean, the header by Havertz. I mean, we'll touch on that real quick. That was, I don't know if that was necessarily intended to go like that. I don't know.
Who cares?
It was a nice goal.
I was surprised. I got up off the couch.
There's no way. I mean, there's no way you stop something like that. I mean, I don't care who the hell's in goal or who the hell's in defense. When balls are placed in the box like that, and when you have a guy that makes contact like that,
because it seemed like he was almost just trying to flick it on, put it into the mix, and leave it for the next man to finish off. Right? Yeah, just get it in the area.
Is Kai Havertz a big game player now? That was a big goal.
It is. I mean, I'm not going to go there yet. He's got 2 big goals in 2 big games, essentially. You can arguably say back-to-back big games, because I mean, he went Champions League last year, the final, and this game. I mean, what games in between has he had that's a big game? I mean, there's none. So the last 2 games he's played against superior opponents, or at least opponents on their level, I thought he's been fantastic. But
I mean, we haven't really played superior opponents, have we? No, we haven't.
There was that match against Arsenal.
yeah, right. We'll get to Arsenal a little bit, but
I'm not talking about history.
Yeah, the match didn't quite live up to expectation. The first half was excellent. I mean, I thought that was one of the better halves of football we've seen so far in the early season.
The first half?
The first half of that game.
Best 45 minutes that we've seen.
Yeah, for sure. And both teams, I was impressed with both. I was like, this is going to be a great season.
I'll touch real quick. Harvey Elliott was fantastic for 18 years old.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good this kid's going to be.
When it was getting close to halftime, as the wheels were coming off, just eroding the whole Chelsea squad. Just bookings, everyone in the official's face.
Conte going down with a huge blow.
Jorginho.
Can we talk about Mateo Kovacic?
No.
Any bright spark yesterday or Sunday from Saturday? When was it? Saturday?
Saturday.
Whew, it's bad.
So 4 hours of sleep will do for you.
Any time like Chelsea had a springboard, it was Mateo Kovacic bringing the ball up. Like we didn't have N'Golo Conte.
Yeah.
He just looked really good. I thought he looked really good.
Just a Tuchel masterclass.
I thought Jorginho was a bit slow. I thought he was good, very good in the first half, but once he picked up that little knock, kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, he's had a busy summer.
I will bring up one thing that I do kind of want to jab you guys about. End of the match, Liverpool have a corner, and Cesar Azpilicueta does not get made. No contact is made on him whatsoever, and he goes down holding his head in one of the most laughable dives I've seen in the early season so far.
I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't see it.
You didn't see
I
it?
don't recall it.
Remember.
I was working.
So you're saying it's kind of like when Mo Salah got booked for simulation that one time against Chelsea? So was it 2 seasons ago?
The only time he's ever got booked for simulation.
It should have been more.
I don't think
He doesn't
so.
do it so much anymore. I think people got on him about it, but he was getting made fun of pretty hard.
It's odd how he has like the most touches in opponent boxes over the last 3 Premier League seasons, and yet Jack Grealish, who is not even in the top 10, I believe, has the most fouls against him. I think it's a bit odd how the guy with the most touches in opponent boxes and the most contact doesn't have a stat like that. I don't know. I find it odd. English bias, maybe. Yeah, I'll throw that out there. I don't know. Let's get to one of the other games of.
So you brought up Jack Grealish. He was looking pretty good.
He did look
Saturday
good.
Morning.
He did look good. Let's go to that game. The Man City versus Arsenal, the 5-0 obliteration.
I hate to see it.
Do you really? Because I like seeing it.
I actually weirdly bet on that game. I never play sports bets, and I bet for a 1-1 draw. I don't know what I was thinking.
When Kolasinac got booked early in the first half, I said something to Tony about between Kolasinac and Xhaka, like, they might not finish the match with 11 men, or one of them is almost guaranteed to get booked anytime they're both out there. And sure enough, 10, 15 minutes later, Xhaka does Xhaka things. And
I think it would be amazing for world football and the culture if Arsenal got relegated. I think it would humble a club that I don't think they need any more humbling, but the fans on Twitter definitely just need to suck on that.
I think they're almost irrelevant on social media.
They're completely irrelevant.
There's nothing really that they can say about their team being better than any team, even Tottenham.
They beat Chelsea in an FA Cup a couple years ago.
It's cute,
and we're still hearing about it.
Yeah, that's an FA Cup. That's almost it's almost a Mickey Mouse Cup, So, I think they're screwed. They made a signing today, getting another right back as they send out Hector Bellerin, which is breaking news that we're getting now. Is Hector Bellerin is on his way to Real Betis.
Everyone's jumping ship.
What an upgrade! Willian terminated his contract.
Willian's going back to Corinthians. David Luiz is a free agent.
Honestly, they shouldn't have signed either of those players.
They were both 30 plus when they signed him.
How do you think? Let's talk about Willian for a second. How do you think Willian feels? He pushed really hard for that 3-year deal. Lampard backed him. He's like, I want the 3-year deal for my security, and then he goes to Arsenal for 1 season. Terminates his contract. He could have won a Champions League from the bench. I wonder how he feels. That's all I'm saying.
Paid?
Yeah, Chelsea would have paid him the same amount, just not as long. So he made this stink about they never offered 2-year deals to over 30s like they did to Willian.
I think he still would have wanted to terminate his Chelsea deal. I don't think it's just the results. He still He wants to play.
He
That's why he
wouldn't
wanted a
take game time.
3-year
I
deal.
wanna
He
show how many
wanted.
people I can stop a counterattack.
Who's he gonna? I mean, where's he? Do you play him as a wingback? Does he move to wingback? Where's he gonna play? He's got no fit in that
Playing in
team.
Brazil.
Should play on the bench. Should play the bench.
Play the bench.
Left
yes.
or right.
Left
you can
bench.
do both.
Yeah, his next position is gonna be left out. That's what he's gonna be if he stayed on Chelsea. Arsenal now they make a couple moves. They spent over 150 million pounds this summer.
What? On what?
Exactly. That's where we're going to touch on right now because they brought in Ben White. They brought in a couple young kids. They did re-sign Emile Smith-Rowe, which might be their only good set of business they've done all summer. This club might be in for a long haul now. I know we none of us really care for Arsenal at the moment, but let's take our tinted glasses off for a second. What the hell is going to happen to this club over the rest of the season? What's your prediction?
They're going to struggle. Probably finish around mid-table.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be terrible for them, but
I don't think they can.
it's not going to be a fun ride for the fans.
I can't. How do you say that without a smile? I don't know. I think they'll bounce back a little bit. They'll have a run a good game. I don't think they're going to continually. They can't continue not winning, or they haven't scored a goal yet, right?
Have not scored a goal. I wonder what their goal of the month video is going to look like this month. Anybody got any idea?
Training.
Lukaku.
It's a train, yeah. It's going to be the under 18s team or something like that. I'm almost beginning to believe that they might struggle to not only finish in the top 10, but possibly not even 12th. I could see that as a possibility. Could you imagine a major club, one of the top 6, finishing that far down? I can't.
You're including. I would say Leicester's taken. West Ham has taken Arsenal's place. West Ham's playing.
You got to do it more
West
than
Ham's
1 or
played
2
very well.
years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, look at Wolves. Remember Wolves when they came up? They finished, 7th or
I'm
8th that year?
saying so. Leicester has been better past 2 seasons than
Yeah.
Arsenal. So
Leicester's been better. I mean, I would even go back even farther. I think Leicester's been great over the long haul. To be honest, since they've joined the Premier League, they've been more consistent.
We got 1 top 4 finish. 1.
But how many top 5s? Is that 3 other?
how many
three
top 4
5s?
finishes has Arsenal had lately?
Probably one within the last 5 years.
1 top 4 finish in your club's history doesn't put you into the big 6 for
But
me.
I'm saying they're pushing.
It also happens to
they've
be the only, the one of that.
They've
top
been
5.
pushing harder than Arsenal. Like they're just a better team. They're a better.
They're
club.
doing better business.
I think better business, better signings. I mean, look who they bring in. They bring in Madison a couple years ago. Great signing there. Really influenced the club. Yuri Tielemans, Soyuncu, Fofana, who's out for the year. Great signing. James Justin, another one.
I trust a guy with 2 first names.
I mean, he's a good fullback.
I love some Harvey Barnes.
Harvey Barnes, he's developed very well over the last 2 years. I mean, you can go throughout that entire line. Ricardo Pereira, another one.
It's like you look at the lineup on match day and you're like, damn, Leicester's got
They got a solid squad.
They got a solid team.
Schmeichel's not to be overlooked in goal either. He's a top 5 goalkeeper in the Premier League.
I always sweat I sweat more when we're gonna play Arsenal than against Leicester than against Arsenal. Although Arsenal sometimes they get one over on us, but
It seems it's like, at least for me, the way I view Arsenal is they have about 4 or 5 matches a year where they will play up to their opponents.
yeah,
Otherwise, they're going to play to the level or below their opponents.
we got two or three of those last season. They did the double.
Yeah,
over us.
the double over you guys, which given the season you guys had, I think is the most surprising thing of that season is what happened in those results.
Yeah.
But this team, if you were to give me a number right now, where do they finish?
Arsenal, 11.
I'd say 12.
I'm going 12 as well. I don't know if there's a way that this club can really rebound from what they have. And they got 3 big teams out of the way of their schedule, which is nice. I mean, I'm counting Brentford because I think Brentford's played very well, and we're going to get to them next.
Undefeated Brentford.
So the thing with Arsenal is I just don't see any they could sack Arteta, but I just don't see any who they're going to get to bring. Like who's going to come in and Arsenal and change that
I can't pick out anybody.
Shithouser.
There's nobody that you can pick out, right?
No.
I can't highlight anybody.
I heard rumblings of Antonio Conte. He's not going to go to Arsenal.
I could
not
see
for
that.
any love for Chelsea.
To be honest,
he must be backed and transferred.
That would be a great fit for him to show what he can do. I think that would actually be a great club for him. The one I'd be interested in, and I know his contract is up at the end of the year with the club, is Marcelo Bielsa. I'd like to see him with a top, a bigger club that actually could spend money.
I don't want him going to Arsenal.
Yeah, I think he'd be great there. I'm just saying.
That's why I don't want him to go to Arsenal.
He's a fantastic coach as is. I think that's an interesting guy to keep an eye on because his contract is up at the end of the year. So
Frank Lampard to Arsenal.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Never.
How could you imagine?
Put that out in the universe?
He's an available manager.
You shut your mouth.
We're talking about available managers.
I just bought some soap. Go wash your mouth out.
Yeah, go sit in the corner.
Let's go to Leeds Villa. That's the next one. We'll hit on here real quick.
It's an option.
This will just be a quick one because this one didn't have a lot to it. Back and forth pretty much, but rather slow in my opinion. Villa won, Brentford won. Sean, I'll start with you. Your take on that matchup of the newly promoted Brentford and the newly rebuilt Aston Villa minus Jack Grealish.
Couple of early goals, couple of nice little finishes, especially like the Brentford goal, the little flick on to Tony for his first touch finish. And yeah, like you said, just the last 75 minutes just didn't really match up to the
didn't
first
live
15.
up to what we thought it would probably be. Two teams that like attacking. Not quite what we thought it would be. Sal?
Good out of the gate and an interesting watch.
Yeah. It was one of those ones where you were either glued to it because there was something that was going to happen. It was a pretty physical game, not as physical as the one we'll get to in, regarding Sunday's matchup, but one of the least more intriguing games. Obviously, those early goals were it. Emi Buendia getting off the schneid. Opening his Aston Villa account. Nice to finally see him be integrated into that squad a little bit more.
Yeah, they're going to need him.
Do you play him over? I mean, I guess what I'm struggling to figure out here is how they're going to play all these signings they've had at once. I don't necessarily know if playing the two strikers or playing one of Watkins and Ings up top basically takes out one of those guys from the lineup. So whether it's Leon Bailey, Emi Buendia, who I prefer personally, through the middle. I think he's great through the middle. So
he's going to ride the hot hand.
I feel like they have to play Leon Bailey. Didn't they sign him for like 30 million? Isn't that a lot? 30 million's a lot for
30 million's a lot, yeah. I mean, they got
their former European champion.
that is a lot of money, but
for them, yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea will spend that on Danny Drinkwater, but
let's also think of it this way. I mean, they've also got how much money coming back from Jack Grealish? A lot.
Yeah, over time. That's probably not all at once. It's probably structured payments.
But knowing that you can spend that money that is coming back and keep these guys over the long haul, at least for the next 3 to 4 years, I think that's smart business by them.
We both had that result wrong, by the way.
I expected that one to be. Yeah, I expected that one to be completely wrong. Considering it would probably even take till halftime where I realized, okay, this game's probably not going to be exactly what we thought it would be. Let's get to another one here. Another draw, Newcastle, Southampton, a 2-2 draw there. Again, two teams that I think all of us touched on as far as relegation status is concerned. Two teams that are in that mix. Sal, I'll start off with you. Newcastle 2, Southampton 2. Your thoughts?
I don't really remember that one as much.
James Ward-Prowse with a late pen in added time after the St. Maximin goal in added time as well.
I did see that St. Maxim goal was sick, actually.
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
Had 4 matches going on, or we were playing 4 while 5 were going on, and Newcastle Southampton's the matchup of those 5.
The one you put on the
least
back burner.
priority. Yeah, if someone came in and asked for it,
sure.
Yeah, but no one's coming in and asking for
if anything, if you take anything away from this match, it's that I think these two teams they're gonna put up a damn good fight. Whether they can last in the Premier League is going to be a big one. I did actually enjoy the way in which Southampton kind of went about things. They tried to filter things, it seemed like, through the middle, but without Danny Ings there, they're kind of left almost to have goals like the penalty late and stuff like that to kind of score. And I don't know how long it's going to last. I think Shea Adams can only do so much. But this is one of those teams that the more I watch them, they got 2 points out of this year so far out of 3 games, which I think is more than they probably should have had.
More than Arsenal.
It is more than Arsenal, who are indeed in last place. Colin Wilson with a goal as well. All the scoring in the second half, all the yellow cards pretty much in the second half. Other than that, I think this is one of those games as well, like the last one that we mentioned. Kind of a slow one. Nothing really to go, bat an eye over than that one. Brighton-Everton, 2-0 Everton over Brighton, which is one of the games that I think we both had Brighton, if I'm not mistaken.
You had the draw.
I had a draw?
I had Brighton going 3-2. So another one we were both off.
Another one we were definitely. I was not even close on this one. I did not see Everton scoring. You're pretty good last week. Calvert-Lewin again scores from the spot. Damari Gray in his first match.
It was a great solo run.
It was nice. With his first match, scores a goal.
How much of a baby Richarlison is?
I mean, that's.
I dislike him. Did I say the most or the least? No,
I think he's a dirty.
I don't like him at all.
I like him.
If I could pick any player in the Premier League that I just can't stand, it's Richarlison.
I agree with you on that one. I'm totally with you there. I would possibly put Bruno Fernandes in that spot again, just because I don't think, as much as as good of a footballer as he is, he's a great footballer. The guy is just a bitch.
He's like
Gonna say it. I mean, the amount of complaining he does, the amount of rolling around he does, the amount of getting in the referee's face. I mean, he got a yellow card for that this weekend. I think Bruno Fernandes is up there with him as well.
Man, it cost me a fantasy point.
Did he cost you a fantasy point?
Yeah, yellow card.
Did you fall down from where you were, Sean? You were what, top 100?
I was exactly 100. Top 100.
I haven't even been paying attention. My team is so bad from the off.
Your team is doing very poorly.
Yeah, I'm bad.
Let's go to the next game here. We the last game for Saturday. Leicester City 2-1 over Norwich. Late goal by Mark Albrighton, 76th minute was the decider in that one. Timu Pukki off the schneid as well. He gets his first Premier League goal. I'm
down to 197.
197. You fell.
Tough third week.
Any idea where I am in there?
Sal managed to fall lower than 301 out of 309. They're now 303 out of 309.
I haven't been paying attention. I already give up.
Do we want to go over fantasy real quick because we got a break in the action? We'll go over fantasy later.
I don't want to go over fantasy.
Sal's a lost cause.
I changed my whole team just to get Lukaku, and I would have been doing really well right now.
If you didn't change your team.
But now it's over. It's done.
You think it's over now?
There's no coming back.
Not after the first week where you were 301st?
Exactly. It's been over from the beginning.
Not really trying to pat myself on the back, but going into Leicester Norwich.
Yeah.
Norwich was getting just totally exposed at that left back position. Both Leicester goals come right on that right wing, especially the Albrighton winner. It was like late 76th, 78th minute around there. Wide open.
Yes. And oddly enough, I think you mentioned it in the last episode, that's where Norwich are susceptible in that back line on the outside. Seems like their fullbacks try to go forward a little bit too much, and unlike teams like Chelsea, Liverpool, and Tottenham as well, as their fullbacks don't get, Norwich fullbacks don't get back to play defense as quickly as teams like that are. So that's where they're obviously susceptible. Let's go to Sunday's matchups. We'll go over those real quick. First one, we'll start with that Tottenham-Watford game. Tottenham again for the third match in a row, win 1-0. They are top of the Premier League. I know you don't like to hear that, but they are top of the Premier League.
They were at one point last season too.
That's true. They were just before Christmas, I believe.
Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, Tottenham's going to win the title."
They finished where again? Was it 7th, 8th, 7th? So 1-0. Heung-min Son scores a whirly free kick as the winner just before the half. Odd game. I thought I honestly thought Watford played pretty well given the circumstances. Pretty decent game overall. I did happen to catch it here.
Goal was kind of a cheapie.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones that should be stopped, right? You'd think?
Tough play for the keeper, just set piece, curling in towards that back post. He's got to he's got to stand his ground in case that's deflected in because it was going through a lot of bodies. I
did think Watford's addition of Sissoko was I thought he played pretty well for the 55 minutes or whatever he was playing. He played good addition for them. I don't know if that's going to help them stay up, but good addition for them nonetheless.
What if Sissoko is the difference between them and relegation? I don't know how. I don't know why.
You think he could be the? I don't think they're. No. The more I watch them, the more I'm like they're going to come into a buzzsaw at some point, and it's going to last for a long time. Okay. We'll touch on the next one here. Burnley Leeds. This is the physical one that I mentioned earlier. Burnley, week after week after week, seem to be the team that is just no matter what the team is they're facing, they're going to put bodies on the line. They're going to try to. I'm not going to say try to injure, but they're going to try to put tough tackles into certain situations. Bamford, I thought, was manhandled the first half especially. But a 1-1 draw, Burnley leads. Leeds come back. Bamford scored the winner on a little deflected tap-in. Your thoughts?
You were surprised when I called 1-1 in that match.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
I thought there was a lot more goals to be had there.
I saw the replays of the goals. Sunday was Casey's birthday, so I didn't really catch any of the Sunday slate of matches. I was making a nice little sweet potato hash while most of that was going on. Nice. Lovely.
Got any more?
Decadent. Well, I overcooked the egg a little bit. Went for that runny yolk and
happens
to the best of us.
Well, I got a topic for you guys coming up right after this segment. We'll go over game day breakfast. Your top game day breakfast. That'll come up next. Overall, though, Leeds Burnley. I thought one of the better matches of the day. So back and forth. Still surprised it was 1-1. To be honest with you.
Sunday, I did not catch any games. I had a very late Saturday night, and I woke up at like 2 in the afternoon.
Another late night for Sal.
So,
they're all late nights for Sal.
Well, I got out of work at 3.
You peeled yourself out of the bed this morning to come do this.
We went out and did bartender thing. Palais Royale on a Saturday night.
The
diviest dive in Albany.
I don't think I've been there. Let's go to the big one on Sunday. I was here for this one. I'm still in awe of how the goal was scored. The winner for Manchester United. The fact that was not called, I think, is beyond me. Manchester United win 1-0 on the back of a controversial no-call foul on Paul Pogba, which was a high boot, I think it was, in which Mason Greenwood scored the eventual winner off a deflection.
Did it go in the book as an actual Greenwood goal, or was it?
I believe it did go in as a Greenwood goal, yeah. Greenwood goal. Do you think that was? I know you saw the foul.
I did not see.
You did not see the foul.
No.
So basically, it was a high. You could see on slow motion replay, you could see how the shin guard and the leg of Ruben Neves was indeed contacted by a high boot of, I would say a tight cleat from Paul Pogba. Did catch him. No call right in front of the referee. I mean, he was no more than 10 to 12 feet away from the play. No call. Neves goes down. The ball's then played out wide to Greenwood, who eventually gets the winner. It's one of those ones that I think VAR has to get, and they didn't even bother looking at it. So
how do Man United always squeak out of those things, though? It's always Manchester United.
Yeah.
Or Liverpool.
Oh, please.
Liverpool get it, too.
Oh, please. We had the worst return last year. We were -9 in the VAR department. Don't even get me started.
Maybe that's why Anthony Taylor didn't look at a full-speed replay of the Reece James incident.
He's definitely a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, okay. Anthony Taylor, he almost cost us the league 2 years ago. Cost us the league 3 years ago. Him and Michael Oliver.
I just don't want Manchester United to do well ever.
Me neither.
Like more than any other club, there's something about Manchester United that I particularly dislike. It's their fans.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
I would rather Arsenal finish above Manchester United.
They're spoiled.
They're spoiled.
And they complain about their owners not spending.
And now they're getting a good team. It sucks.
And now they're spending. I mean, they only have the most expensive center back in the world. They also have one of the most expensive wingers in the world. Let's not forget they also have Paul Pogba, who was at the time the most expensive player in the world. I mean,
who they used to actually have on their team.
Let
walk for free.
We don't really get to talk about that though.
Yeah, really. You guys are kind of in that boat too.
Ancient history. At least we got some money.
We just bought it back. Actually,
at least you got one
some
back.
Money for him in the first place.
At least you got one back. At least you didn't let them all go.
The $35 million we got for him initially went to good use.
I'm just absolutely shocked that they keep getting calls like this, and even though all the moves they made in the offseason as far as changing VAR rules, we're still going to have VAR influence games.
Oh yeah,
it's in the first 3 weeks. Is it not almost the same amount of VAR decisions?
It's that Breaking Bad Jesse Pinkman gif. He can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
It is.
Ugh.
How about that Champions League draw, boys?
We'll get to that in a second. I want to get to your game day breakfast. This is something you showed me some food pictures the other day, and maybe you'll share them on social media so people can see. But you did make some sweet potato hash, I believe it was.
Sweet potato hash, a little hot Italian sausage.
Last week, I believe you made some salsa as well. That looked pretty good.
A little pico de gallo.
A little pico. So I want to let you guys run with this one for a little bit. What is your game day breakfast? We're here early in the morning. Unfortunately, we don't have this kitchen open at the moment. Hopefully, in the near future, we can get the kitchen open. But what is your premier game day breakfast, Sean?
I had it on Saturday.
It was the hash?
No, that was Sunday. Saturday was the 7:30 Arsenal kickoff.
Oh, that's right.
Tony comes pulling in the parking lot right as the Gundogan goal was going in. He had a little Wi-Fi issue with the Peacock stream, so we actually didn't see the second goal go in either.
Probably good for them.
But came in with that nice bacon, egg, and cheese pizza.
That's right. I did see that. It did look pretty good.
My
Your game day breakfast?
I change it all the time, but I'd say there's always eggs. Sometimes it's like an egg with oatmeal, not together, obviously.
I'd say that would be disgusting.
Or, sometimes I'll go crazy, do hash browns, bacon, eggs, and beans, and
that's wild. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying like if I'm feeling up to like making a whole bunch of shit, steak and eggs is probably the premier though.
Steak and eggs.
Steak it like a New York strip, fried egg, and some hash browns.
It's more of a dinner though, isn't it?
You said premier. Okay, it doesn't get much more premier than steak.
I usually got to go with like I remember here the bison chipotle sausage. I thought that was fantastic. I'm typical breakfast sandwich, but I'm not an egg guy. I don't do egg.
What do you put on your breakfast sandwich?
Cheese and sausage and bacon.
Well, the egg is just a sandwich.
You couldn't call it a breakfast. I mean, you are technically
breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
If you ate that at dinner time, you wouldn't call it a breakfast sandwich. With the egg on it, it's a breakfast sandwich at night.
Okay, you do a BLT and add a fried egg. Is it an egg sandwich or is it a BLT plus a fried egg?
It's something I would send back to the kitchen because they need to take the egg off.
Something I'd send back to Socrates to deal with. This is a philosophical issue.
I'm not a big egg guy. I can't do eggs, no matter what capacity it's in. I just don't.
You don't like chicken embryo?
No, you're a big embryo guy.
I like to poke the embryo and let it drip on my potatoes.
Is that what you call them?
So Casey doesn't like the runny eggs, so she got a sprinkle of cheese on top of her hash. There was no.
I think you can't go wrong with cheese and breakfast. I think you can put cheese on anything for breakfast and it's good. Breakfast sandwich on a hard roll or on a toasted brioche. It's the way to go. It's the way to go. All right, Champions League draw. We did have the draw this week. We'll go through. Let's go through each group here. We'll start off with Group A, the one of the possible group of death scenarios here. Manchester City at a pot 1 in that group. PSG at a pot 2 with Leo Messi. RB Leipzig at a pot 3, and at a pot 4 is Club Bruges. Tough group. I think we can kind of almost assume what two teams are going to probably come out of that one. But do you see Leipzig putting up a fight?
In the Europa League.
Yeah.
They got a real chance to win Europa. That's a lot to overcome, City and PSG.
That's two of the best teams in the world right now.
Yeah.
Leipzig's best shot is if one of those two teams beats the other in both legs, and then Leipzig's able to pull back a
Leipzig
draw
has
against
to be.
result.
They have to beat
Either
Club
or both.
Bruges twice, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They have to beat that Club
Or
Bruges
Bruges.
twice. They got probably the
Why
one
are
of
we
the worst
talking about
draws.
Bruges getting in, huh?
They didn't they recently just sign an American?
from Bruges.
That's in Belgium.
Ethan Horvath. Yeah,
They-
Horvath at Bruges.
Horvath, but they also actually just completed a deal for Tejan Buchanan from New England. Not going to join the club till January, but he's going to be there. He's actually Canadian. That's what I'm thinking about.
That's where Daddy's from.
He's a good little player.
He's in Bruges.
So definitely. So we'll go off of Sean. I'll have you take some notes here first. We're going to take.
Speaking of MLS, can I just ask, are you guys going on the bus trip?
I'm not going on the bus trip. I
You're
am.
not going on that.
I want to.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't have a good excuse, honestly.
You need to go, Sean.
You telling me to do it makes me want to do it less.
It's gonna.
Are you going?
I'm absolutely I'm already signed
That
up.
doesn't help either.
It's gonna be a great group.
Yeah,
It's going to be a fun group.
It's gonna be
and
fantastic.
Sal.
If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, definitely
Filling up
contact.
fast.
I'm writing you
They are
down.
filling up
I'm gonna
fast.
put you down the list today.
Contact Wolf Spirit
Right
Garden.
over there. I might put
You
myself
can
on it.
Google us, call us, come in and see us to get it all set. Sean, when you get back, I'm going to have you take some notes on our who we're going to have come out of each group of the Champions League. Group B, in my opinion, the group of death, because my team is in it. We have Atletico Madrid at a pot 1, Liverpool at a pot 2, Porto at a pot 3, and AC Milan out of pot 4.
That's kind of group of death, actually. Just in terms of you don't have a Club Bruges.
Yeah, we don't have a Club Bruges. I mean, Milan probably not
in pot 4.
We do. We have Zlatan. I mean, they did lose probably their biggest playmaker in Çalhanoğlu to Inter Milan, so he's not there anymore. That's going to be a big loss for them. But they're still AC Milan. It's the first time they've been in the Champions
Olivier
League for how
Giroud's been
long?
killing it there.
He's there as well. I mean, they have two of the oldest strikers in the world.
They took 3 players from Chelsea. They took a Giroud, Bakayoko, and Tomori.
That's right.
Bakayoko's only on a 2-year loan.
Just retired, dude.
I can't believe he's still playing.
I got Liverpool winning that group.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've got Atleti finish second.
That's the matchup. I figured one of those teams is going to win the group. The other one I think could struggle.
I'm not worried about Atletico.
I honestly
couldn't.
I could see one of the two teams at the bottom of that group come out with a second place finish.
It could be the group 2, or I got a feeling it'll be the group where you see the shortest kind of points gap between first and fourth.
Yeah, I get, or for at least first and third. I mean, one of the teams are going to. I think it's going to end up being Porto, not having brought in as many big talents as the other 3 teams. I think Porto is probably the one that's going to finish fourth.
Still got Pepe.
They still have Pepe, and they did make a nice run in the Champions League last year. But I just can't see them getting many points against these teams.
Half that group got eliminated by Chelsea last year.
Porto, though, great city.
So I'm going to have you keep a running total here, Sean. I'm going to grab your phone. We're going to start off back with Group A. Your top 2 teams you guys see coming out of that group.
I've got City.
Man City, PSG.
I got City
Man
first.
City, PSG.
I've got PSG first, City second. I think I think Messi's going to force his way through that group, and I think if Mbappe does stay, I think that's the team to beat in my opinion. Given the additions they made this summer. I think Wijnaldum fits perfectly. Sergio Ramos, I think, will solidify that back line with Marquinhos. So that's the team I would pick. When's the last time City finished second in their group? Does anybody remember?
They kind of need a little humbling.
Right. So, I mean, I'm going to go PSG City. You're going City over PSG? You as well?
Yeah.
Group B. Sean, you said Liverpool's going to win the group. Who you got second? Atletico?
Yeah, Atletico's going to go second.
I'm going to go Liverpool Atletico as well, but I think they're going to be even on points and just going to be goal differential.
I think Atletico's going to top that group.
Yeah, Atletico top of the group. Who's second?
Liverpool.
Liverpool second. Group C, not necessarily your father's group of death here. Sporting out of Portugal was the team out of pot 1. Dortmund out of pot 2. Ajax out of pot 3, and Besiktas out of pot 4. This one, I mean, could go anyway. I think this is going to be one of those groups to where every game is going to be almost high scoring.
I think it's a sneaky good group. Not quite group of death, but
it's a fun group to watch.
It will be.
Group of death junior.
And that, I mean, you got the reigning Dutch champions. You got the reigning Turkish champions and the reigning Portuguese champions all in the same group. And they all have to face Erling Haaland. So good luck to them.
Yeah.
They're going to need it. And Jude Bellingham for that matter. Who do you guys got at the top of that group, and who do you got finished second?
You kick this off. I'm still typing away over here.
I'm going to say Dortmund Ajax.
I'm going to actually do the same thing. Dortmund top in the group.
Yeah, that's what I have here too.
Ajax, I got finished in second. Let's go to Group D now. This is almost the same group as last year. Out of pot 1 is Inter Milan. Pot 2 is Real Madrid. Pot 3, Shakhtar Donetsk. And pot 4, Sheriff from Moldova.
I'm going Sheriff.
Sheriff to win the group?
Sheriff's going to top the group. No,
Sheriff to score 1 goal.
I think it'll be Inter Milan, Real Madrid.
I mean, think of it this way. Shakhtar Donetsk made it out of that group last year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Didn't Inter finish last in the group? I'm pretty sure Inter finished last.
Antonio Conte's not a Champions League guy, though.
He's not. He's
Not
not.
a He's a league guy.
You're Europa League.
Yeah, it just
He's
there's
pretty
something
good
about the
there.
Champions League. I don't think. I'm not going to say he doesn't care about it. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it'd be crazy to not care about the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He just does better in the league. He's more like a long term.
So do you?
Strategist.
So are you gonna pick Inter to get out of this group though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean?
Yeah, I've got Real finishing first, but I've got Inter coming in second.
I've got Real finishing first as well.
I would honestly say I think it'll be Real, but it'd be nice to see Inter just pick them.
I'm stuck on this one. I want to say Inter Milan, but I am leaning towards Shakhtar getting out of this group.
Really?
I'm going to go Inter Milan. That's going to be a tough group. I honestly think that would be one of the tougher groups. That'll be one of the more fun groups to watch just because I'm interested to see how the Real Madrid defense is going to be. Shakhtar, like we saw them last year. I mean, how many counter goals did they score in that group last year? It's like when they beat Real Madrid, 3 counter goals, 3 straight counter goals. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm going to go. I think like you guys, I'm going to go Inter or Real Madrid first, Inter second. Group E, another really good group to be honest with you. Bayern out of pot 1, Barca out of pot 2, Benfica out of pot 3, and Dynamo Kiev, out of pot 4. Group E right there. So obviously you've got the German champions, you've got the third place finishers in La Liga and Barcelona.
That's a boring group.
I think that's going to be a fun one. Benfica. Remember, Benfica lost their coach. He's now with Wolves. So let's see how they do. I don't know. I mean, Kiev could get they could beat one of these top 2 teams. They got the players to do it.
I think it's Bayern. It's going to be Bayern Barcelona by a good point margin.
Bayern Barca.
Both will have those spots locked up before match day 6.
You think?
I think so.
In that order, Bayern Barcelona?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go as well. I think Benfica will beat. I think Benfica is probably going to beat or at least get a draw against Barcelona. I think they could be the thorn in the side of Barcelona at least once, but I don't see much going on out of that group. Group F is an interesting one. You have at a pot one was Villarreal after winning the Europa League. Their opponent in that Europa League final, Manchester United, at a pot two. Pot three was Atalanta, and pot four was Young Boys. That's a tough group. Looking at it's a 3-team race for that group. Who do you guys like coming out of that one?
I got United winning it. I don't think that there will be a whole lot of a challenge there for them. There will be some tough matches, but like you said, the 3-team race nature of it, Villarreal and Atalanta are going to have tough matches against each other. It's not just those ones against
They're going to
United.
beat themselves up as United kind of runs away with it, you think?
Yeah. So I think Atalanta will finish second in the group. I think that'll be tight with them and Villarreal.
Yeah.
They did just sign Zappacosta, so they're a shoo-in.
You going to go with Atalanta?
No. I mean, I can't base it off of last season, but it'd be nice to see like United bomb out and go back to Europa.
It would be nice, right?
That way I can say for a season, go back to where you belong.
Wouldn't you want them to get to at least the group stage so that then when they get knocked out, they can't win a trophy in Europe?
Well, if they go to the Europa League, they can't win a trophy in Europe.
That's true. I mean,
they proved that last season. Am I right?
That's true. That's true. But I mean, I can't see them not getting to the group stage this time.
No, I see that'd be more satisfying.
I think they possibly have the easiest group of this tournament, given that the other two teams are going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
So who do you got first? United?
Manchester United.
Second?
Atalanta.
Atalanta? Me too. I'm going to go Atalanta as well. Group G, probably the most boring group out of this whole draw.
Softest one by
Softest
far.
by far. Yeah, and I would say weakest given the amount of sales all these teams have had. If you look at what they're doing on the market. You got Lille at a pot one first. At a pot two was Sevilla, pot three Salzburg, and pot four was Wolfsburg out of Germany. A tough one to probably predict because any of these teams could win at any given moment against each other. So who do you guys like out of this one?
It's tough because really the fourth best team in that group isn't any worse than probably the majority of other fourth best teams.
Yeah.
But the quality in those top two lines is just so far behind every other group in the tournament.
Definitely the weakest if you look at the rosters on paper.
I think that'll be a toss-up, that group.
I've got Sevilla winning it and then Lille second.
Yeah.
I agree with the first part. I'm going to go with Salzburg coming out of there second, though. I think the amount of sales coming out of Lille, I mean, it looks like they're going to hold on to Sanchez. But who knows if they're going to sell Doku, how long he's going to be there. They did lose their goalkeeper this year to AC Milan. So I'm going to go Salzburg. Surprising
It's not a bad
a lot of
shout.
people. Who do you like?
You siding with me?
Sevilla?
It's Sevilla
Yeah.
and
Who do you-
Lille.
Sevilla,
You got Lille as well?
And Lille. I'm Atalanta again. Sleep.
Let's go to the last group here. End it off with end this thing off with Chelsea at a pot one. At a pot two was Juve. Pot three Zenit, and pot four Malmo. I think this one's pretty much set on paper, you could say, right? As it is right there. I think that's how it's going to finish.
I would think Juventus would be more likely to bomb out with Chelsea. If any of the two big ones
The two big ones?
had
Yeah.
a shock result, I think it would be.
I can't see Chelsea falling out of this group at all.
Yeah, they're going through this. Juventus is. I was so thrilled to see Juventus get drawn with Chelsea because it was.
And they lose Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, they can lose Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't even know who's coaching at Juventus this season. Who is it?
Max Allegri.
Not worried.
I have them winning the group.
Juventus?
Yeah.
I have Chelsea. I think Chelsea.
I got Chelsea, Juve.
Yeah, Juve, Chelsea.
I think Zenit's going to
He
win.
wants Juve Chelsea apparently.
I mean, that would probably give you a tougher. I mean, think of it this way: if it indeed,
It might not.
if indeed Chelsea is the team that finishes second in this group, your best scenario might be you get somebody from Group G. So your best scenario is if you finish second, you're looking at Bayern Munich, Dortmund, probably PSG, maybe Atletico, Inter, Real Madrid, or Sevilla. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Your opponents are very limited, and you're going to get a strong opponent if you finish second. Like given how weak that group is,
Well, I think we're going to top the group. So
I think you top the group as well. I don't think there's any way around that. So that's the Champions League. You've got that all written down. So basically, we'll keep a track on that as we go throughout.
Keep in mind, I think Lukaku's going to do some damage in turn. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying.
Against the great Weston McKennie, I doubt it. We'll as we go on through the Champions League, what we'll do is we'll keep track of that, and we'll pick our winners once we get through to the group stage. We'll pick our winners from there. I'm pretty sure you guys are probably going to go Chelsea.
For what?
For who's to win the Champions League?
As it stands right now, yeah, I'll pick them to win it.
I'm picking PSG. I mean,
They haven't been beaten in the Champions League in over a year. Or did we lose to Krasnodar?
did you?
I'm thinking. It's a tough one. Everyone's going to say PSG on paper or think it like I'm going to say Manchester City.
You're gonna go City?
Yeah.
You're gonna give. Wow, I'm surprised a little bit in you on that.
Because I don't know.
It's the one. It's the one thing Pep needs, right?
I think they just care about it so much. I mean, PSG and City are the ones that care the most about it. They don't have 2 or 5 or 6. Is it 6?
Yeah,
6. I said 5 on purpose just to see you like twitch a little bit. 6.
I should have worn the shirt with a number on it to remind you. No, I mean I agree. I agree. They're probably the most focused. But the thing is, the team in their group is probably the only team that's probably as focused as them in PSG, right? I mean, with Messi coming over, Messi didn't come to PSG to just flop over in the Champions League like he did at Barcelona, right?
He joined a super squad.
He joined a super squad. And I think with Neymar and Mbappe, and if Neymar can stay healthy, I don't see anybody really beating them, to be honest. I mean, they'll get beat in the group stage possibly by Man City, but I don't see them losing this tournament, to be honest with you.
All right.
see how it
You know
goes.
what? I changed it's going to be Chelsea 1-0. Where's the Champions League final being played?
I'm not
Andreas
sure.
Christensen ends Messi's career.
Is it Istanbul? Is it Istanbul this year? 'Cause it was
Sounds right.
Porto last year.
I'm going to say Chelsea wins the champ. I'm going with it. Chelsea win the Champions League 1-0.
Who's the goal scorer?
Mason Mount.
Oh, come on.
St. Petersburg.
Okay, so we're in Russia.
I think last year was supposed to be Istanbul, and then
Yeah, they moved it.
moved it to Porto. COVID, England reasons.
I'm gonna stick with PSG. But anyways, any topics you guys want to hit on while we get out to close the show?
We'll get them next week.
Get them next week.
We got some international break coming up.
We do. We got some Team USA to talk next week. We'll go over them. Obviously, we'll go over the last minute transfers as well. If there's any transfers that come through in the last coming day, so we'll go over those, and maybe we'll go over the Europa League draw as well. Not that there's many teams that are in it that are probably going to win it right now. This is probably going to be a team coming out of the Champions League, but we'll at least touch on that next time as well, and go over some of that. So we'll catch you guys next week. For Sean and Sal, this is Matt, and we'll see you guys next week on Over the Bar.